All right, guys. All right. Welcome to Frank Teaches DevOps. Yeah, man. My lovely viewers. My lovely viewers. Yeah. The season is the season of love. A season of good tidings and a season of prosperity. It is a Christmas season. And we at Frank Teaches DevOps, we are, you know, extending our goodwill to all our fans, our well wishers, the world over. A Merry Xmas. All right, guys, a Merry Xmas and a prosperous New Year. Please keep up with Frank Teaches DevOps and we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you. And we thank you for liking our videos, and sharing our videos within your network and showing us love. All right. By so doing, we won't stop. We won't stop bringing you lucrative and insightful content. All right. Insightful content. And today we are bringing you what we call the Christmas special. Christmas special. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, guys, let's get started. Let's get started. Let's get started. Let's get started, guys. Yeah. Let's get started, guys. Welcome to Frank Teaches Devils. Yeah, my lovely viewers. Yeah, guys. So today is a Christmas special. Let me put it like this: Christmas special. Let me give it a fine looking font. That's it. I need to coilize this thing, man. Does it make sense? Let me give you the kind of Christmas font. Oh, we don't have much font here. I'm sorry, guys. We don't have much. Does this? Let me use this. All right. Christmas special, and Christmas comes with green and red. All right. Let's give this red, and this should be green. All right. Yeah, guys. Christmas special. It's a special edition. All right. So in this edition, we will be talking about salt stack. Oh, salt stack. Let me blow this up. Perfect. I don't know if you've heard about salt stack. What's salt stack? Salt stack is a kind of configuration management tool. It's a what kind of configuration management tool? That is what a salt stack is. All right. Salt stack is one of the types of configuration management tool. Now, in configuration management tool, we have the likes of Ansible. Thank you. You're now reasoning. You know Ansible. You know Puppets. You know Puppets. You know Chef. All right. And there's some other guy called what? A salt stack. Somewhere within the stack. Yeah, guys. All right. And today we will be looking at what the salt stack is and how salt stack is different from the rest of these other configuration management tools. All right. Before we talk about their differences, now what exactly is what salt stack? Let's look at it. Now, salt stack is, let me just use SS to abbreviate salt stack. So SaltStack is a what? Is a Python-based, open source remote execution framework. All right, execution framework for configuration management, automation, provisioning, and orchestration. Too much of grammar, right? Yeah. Let's break it down. Now you can omit this parts, but it does all of this. You can omit these highlights. All right. Now, SaltStack is a Python-based open source remote execution framework for configuration management. You all know what configuration management is. I wouldn't want to go in depth, because if you've already known what Ansible is, then you already know what a configuration management tool is all about. And SaltStack is one of those tools used for setting up a configuration management system. All right, great. Now, SaltStack was designed. SaltStack came before Ansible, but before Ansible or SaltStack, there was Chef Puppet thereabouts, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So SaltStack was designed primarily to handle high speed in caps, high speed data collection and what? Execution. Now, briefly, we shall just touch about the architecture, but let me finish all of these. All right. So SaltStack was designed primarily to handle high-speed data collection and execution. SaltStack operates on a what? Master to slave architecture. Architecture in Ghanaian stone. Architecture. All right, great. So this is everything about SaltStack. What a SaltStack is. SaltStack, one, is a configuration management tool. All right. Secondly, it operates in a master to slave architecture. Now, quickly, let's now look at the architecture of SaltStack. All right, let's look at the architecture. Why do we say it operates on a master to slave architecture? Now, you have a master system. On this master system, the Salt master is installed. All right. Now, this Salt master comes along with other concepts, other components. All right. Now, on the other hand, we have a slave, but in the concept of SaltStack, the client machine, all right, which is a slave, is not called slave, it's not called client. Rather, it is identified as a minion. So in this context, a minion means a slave, a client. All right. So this is the architecture that this guy operates. Now let's start breaking down things. The master has a lot of components, all right? Meaning that you have two systems. You have one system I'll be using AWS EC2 instances to illustrate all of these. Now you have one virtual machine, right? This virtual machine, what you do, you install a master agent, right? So it works in this flow. A master to it works on agents. It uses the concept of agents. Let me go back to my sorry to have yeah. It uses the concept of agents, meaning that an agent must be running on the master. Similarly, a client agent must be running on the slave. All right. Now, for the master or for the slave to connect to the master, there must be what? Agents. It's agent based. All right. It's agent based, not like Ansible that is agentless. Ansible is agentless. But however, Salt is also to a very large extent, if you want to use Salt without an agent, all right, there's a concept called Salt SSH. All right, I'm coming to that aspect. All right, maybe in future videos when we'll be talking about Salt models. All right, Salt models, then we shall mention Salt SSH. When you use Salt SSH, all right, you are actually dealing without an agent. Now you want to connect your minion to your master without using an agent, and that is only possible via a concept called what? Called Salt SSH, right? So with Salt SSH, I can comfortably connect my minion to my what? To my master. Agentless, no agent, guys. All right, but this is not the topic for today. Let's put that off. Great. Now the master has components. All right, it has a DB. It uses a database. Let's use this as a DB. It uses database. Let me not use diagram, guys, so we don't waste much time because we have a lot of to cover. I'll call it database, a DB. The Salt Master, on the Salt Master, you have grains, right? It's you also have what do we call them? You have mine, okay? Okay, and all right. So you have components that runs on the master. All right, that runs on what? On the master. Now, in between the master and the slave, there is a straight line. Right? This line demarcates the master from the slave. And this line is not just a line, rather, it represents what we call a service bus. So, SaltStack uses a type of service bus, all right, called 0MQ. It uses a type of service bus called 0MQ. Now, what does a service bus do? A service bus is a kind of an asynchronous, all right, a kind of an asynchronous service, right, that handles high-speed data collection. Now, what did it do? It makes sure that the data flow between the master and the slave is on a very high speed. So the flow of data between the master and the minion is very fast, very fast. And that is made possible by what? A service bus called what? 0MQ. So 0MQ makes the easy flow of data between the master and the minion very fast, right? So I'll be looking at, let's go to Google and let's quickly look at the architecture, SaltStack architecture, to truly, all right, show us different aspects of the entire system, right? So let me see if I can copy this image, and yeah, great guys, great. So let me use this to illustrate the architecture, what I was trying to put up here. All right, now look at this. Now you have the master. So if I turn this guy this way, you should see that is something close to what I was trying to illustrate. Can you see? So here is the what? Service bus. All right, that's a straight line. All right, can demarcate the master from the slave. All right, and you have the master, you have your slave. All right, so let me turn it back. Undo, great. Now this is the master. The master has several components. You have the salt cloud, you have the salt file server. Salt cloud, which enables you, is a model. These are models, these are different models. You can see modular and flexible. All right, these are different models. At the same time, it could be termed as component as well. All right, now, sorry, these are models. All right, they are models. Now you have a model to connect to the cloud. If you want to connect to AWS, GCP, Azure, DigitalOcean, there is a model for that. For file services, there's a Git service, there's a version control service, which GitFS, SVN, and file. All right. For authentication, all right, if you have an external ADAP server or a Keystone server, you can use the Salt Auth. Right. So let me put down them somewhere. So these are different models. You can use the Salt Cloud, Salt.cloud for cloud-based connectivity. You can use Salt.file server. All right. Then Salt .auth for authentication. Then Salt.wheel for other configurations. Then Salt.mine. All right. Then Salt.pillar. Right. Salt.pillar, and etc, and a whole lot, guys. All right, like I said, today's video is not about advanced concepts in Salt. Today's video is about talking about Salt as a configuration management tool and installing Salt on the master server, Salt master, and installing the slave, which is the minion, on a slave server, and see how we can connect the slave to the master. All right, so that's what today's video is all about. All right, so this is architecture. Now here is the event bus, a service bus. All right, so this service bus is what is 0MQ. There are other buses. All right, there are other ways by which data can move from a minion to the master and back and forth. We have the 0MQ, which uses what the event bus. We have the tornado, all right, and we also have what SSH. I mentioned something somewhere, the SSH, the Salt SSH, or which is what agentless way of connecting the minion to the master, guys. All right, so yeah, so these are the slave machines called what minion. So on this minion, there are what we call returner. All right, there are grains, there are beacon. Right, I just want to keep it at that level. I don't want to go in depth. What's a grain? What's a returner? What's a beacon? All right, I just want to keep it as simple as possible. All right, so you can install the agent on a Windows machine. You can install on a Linux server. You can install proxy. Proxy Minion is the same thing. It's very similar to Salt SSH. So this is Salt Proxy. It's called Salt Proxy, right? So Salt Proxy and Salt SSH, they do not have agents. They are agentless, right? Then we now have the Salt Legacy, right? I don't know much about the Salt Legacy, right? So this is all about the architecture of Salt, right? That being said, okay, we have a runner, the reactor, the engine, and the API, right? So this engine, you can use this engine to connect your Salt to your notification tools like your Slack, like your Teams, and etc. etc. All right. So guys, without further ado, let's now see how to set up Salt on a master as well as a slave and see how we can connect these guys together. All right, guys, let's get started. All right, so let's get started. So I'll be creating two machines. I'll call this master. I'll call the other. I'll call it Salt Minion. All right, Salt Minion and Salt Master. So I'm creating two machines. All right, great. Let's get started. So let me go to my AWS account. Let me go to my AWS account and create two machines. Okay, instances. Let's launch an instance. So let me call it Salt Master. All right. So I'm using Ubuntu. I'll be using Ubuntu for this demo. How many instances of it? I need two of it for master and slave. And let me use T2 medium. All right. I have my key pair already. My key pair. There you go. Set up my Frank VPC subnets, existing security group, Frank SG. And I want to increase, let me stick this 20 GB. All right, we are good. And that's it. Launch your instance. Right. So our instance is getting launched. Salt Master and Salt Minion. So I just need to change one of those to so I'll call one of these Salt Minion. Great. Now let me start with the Salt Master, right? Great. So I'll copy. Let me duplicate this page. Connect SSH, copy. So let's come over here and okay. All right, let me open new tab. Great. So connect to my master. So here's my master. Now I'm connected to my master. Now the prerequisites, all right, before setting up Salt, right? So I must set things I need to do. Things I need to do. First, set a host name. Oh, yeah, for the master. Set a host name for the master. The host name must be in the form of an FQDN. Note, the host name must be in the format of a FQDN, of an FQDN, right? It must be something like this. Let's say I want to say salt dot Frank teaches DevOps ftd.com. So this is a fully qualified domain name, right? So I'll give this name to my what? Host. Let's come back to my host. I'll come over here. I'll go to etc host name, all right? Host name. And I will remove this name and give it salt dot frankteachesdevops.com, fd.com. Escape. Though this guy is local, is a local DNS, so I'll edit my local DNS, all right, to impute that as well. So what's my IP? Ifconfig is not installed, so IP address show. So this is my private IP, all right? Copy the private IP, then go into your etc host file, and you can use your public IP. Let me use my public IP. All right. Let me use my public IP so that so to get my public IP, call ident.me. So this is my public IP. Copy that, then go into my host file, paste it, and salt.frankteachingdevops.com. I call this salt, then space ftd, all right, .com. So this is my local DNS, escape, save and quit. So if I ping ftd.com, I should get the response. If I ping salt, I should get a response because it's resolving locally. All right, it's resolving locally. Great, guys. Now the first prerequisite has been achieved. Set a host name for the master. All right. Now after setting the host name, the second is I'll be leveraging on salt documentation to install salt. All right. Use the salt stack documentation to what install salt. All right. So now I'll go to docs.saltprojects, docs.saltprojects.io, all right, slash slash salt, all right, install guide this, all right. So that's a path, guys. That's a path. So once you open this, all right, you're going to see welcome, all right. And welcome to Salt's install guide. This guide provides instructions for installing Salt on supported operating systems, right? So these are the supported operating system you can install on Linux Debian distro, Linux RPM based distro, and Mac OS as well as Windows, right? So you have Debian distros like Ubuntu, Debian, Alpine, etc., etc. You have the RPM base, you have the Amazon Linux, Fedora, CentOS, Oracle Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, etc., etc., Mac OS and Windows. All right, so let's take Debian. So I'll click on this. So it brings me here, install Salt on Debian. All right, the first thing first, we have to what? Download the public key. So I'll copy that, copy, come to my machine. So I have downloaded the public key. The second is to actually create the repository. All right, copy, paste that. I've created a repository for that. Then the third phase, that's step one. Step two says run apt updates to update your metadata. All right, so I'll come over here and I say apt updates. So apt updates will update the package repositories. All right. Now, after that, we can now start installing the salt components. All right. The salt major components, the two of the major components we shall talk about today is the salt master and the salt minion. All right. There are other salt components which will be discussed later in these in later videos. All right. In later videos. So let's see. So the update was done. So I need to install where's my shock. All right, so now install salt master and salt minion on the master. Now, why are we installing salt minion agents on the master? The reason is a salt master can also be a salt slave. Yeah, so that's how salt was designed. A salt master can be a slave to itself. I will show you why I say so. So this is what I will do. We'll now say what apt install salt master and salt minion. All right. So do my y and let's go. So Take note, guys. All right, take note because um we set up the host name, all right, as this salt.ftd.com. All right, so I'm supposed to even reboot the machine to take those effects, but that's okay to take those effects. So I don't think that's taking those effects. So this guy has to change, all right, so that the minion can connect to the master, because the salt minion connect to the master via a fully qualified domain name. So if there is no FQDN, there is no way the salt minion can connect to the master. Take note, guys. If there is no what FQDN, so there is no way a salt minion can connect to the master. Connection will fail. Right. So I'm going to show us how connection will fail. All right. I'll show us everything how connection will fail. All right. Then I will rectify it. Right. So let's wait for the installation to finish, and we'll be right back. Yeah, guys, all right, as this thing is ongoing, yeah, it's Christmas, it's Christmas, and in our own various ways we are celebrating. All right, we're celebrating, all right, the love of humanity, the love of Christ. Yeah, so yeah, we're celebrating, guys. Cheers, guys. Cheers. Cheers. mm, mm, mm. It's Christmas, guys. It's Christmas, all right, and yeah, I have my it's Christmas, man. All right. Please don't fail to subscribe. Don't fail to subscribe. Subscribe to our channel. This is the only way you can support. All right. And I love it, guys. I love it. Your little subscription gives us that ginger. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Talking about ginger. There's ginger salt in there's a company called Ginger Salt in SaltStack. Come on, man. There's salt pepper. Salt pepper is a component. All right. Quickly, guys. Let's just wait if this guy. Oh, this guy is let's go back, guys. No time for frivolities. All right. Even if it's not frivolities, all right. Let's go back to our classroom. So this has been installed. Let's now check if the service have started. So I can say system CTL status salt master. All right. So salt master is not up, is not up, is not running. All right. So let's get started. So I say system CTL. We can start the master. All right. We can also start the minion, which is the slave. Right. I don't know why it's not coming up. Minion. All right. Now we've installed master and slave. Right. Let's go back to our guy. We install this guy. That's all, guys. All right. App install, salt master, salt that. Then yeah. So let's now we are done, guys. Like I said, we want to what? We've set up this guy both as a master, as a slave. All right. So let's play around this guy first before looking at joining another machine to the master. All right. So that we can deploy from the master to what? To that machine. Now, there are configuration files. Now, the configuration files for salt is under /etc/salt. So in here, we have these files. Now, you can see this guy is both the master as well as the minion. So that's why you're seeing the minion configuration as well as what the master configuration. All right. So there's a file called the master. So if I open this master file is the file that is the configuration file. There are a lot here, guys. All right. We don't need to do anything here by default. So can go out. We also have the salt proxy. So this is what you use to configure an agentless, all right, connectivity between the minion and the master. All right. So we're not going into this for now. And yeah, we are concerned about what? The master. All right. Now, the master and the minion. Salt uses a key-based authentication. It uses a key-based authentication. Key-based authentication, right? To connect the minion, all right, towards to the master. There's a public key, right, which already has been installed, and that key seems that it's under the PKI. So if I check what's inside PKI for the master, that's the master. All right, so you can see this is a private key and this is a public key. All right, so yeah, all right. Now, great guys, we are through. Let's come back. Let me remove this for now. For now, the master. Let's check if Salt has been successfully installed. All right. So there's a key called Salt. There's a command called Salt key. If I press Salt key and press Enter, now Salt is going to show me different types of different categories of subheading of keys. You tell me the accepted keys, you tell me the denied keys, unaccepted keys, rejected keys. So I don't know why I'm having this here. All right, let me check. Is this my IP? 1.23. Okay, I'm having this name here because this is the FQDN. You remember when we changed the host name? So if I say host name, it will show me this. This is the host name of this machine, and it is using what? It's being resolved to the global DNS. So it's being resolved to the DNS of the server, right? If I go to my AWS, right, come back to the instance, this is my master. I will show you something, guys. Now, this is the public DNS of this master server. You can see now, it's resolving to this guy. It's resolving, can see now. Sorry, this is private IP DNS, right? It's resolving to that guy, right? So this has already been changed, right? But it's not taking effect, right? So I'm going to reboot this machine, all right, so that to take effect. So that's why we are having the unaccepted key. So we need to accept this key before communication can flow. So what we have done so far here, we've installed both the master and the slave on the same machine. So we want to test out Salt if it's actually working. Because if you remember earlier, I said that Salt master can be a slave to itself. Yeah, can be a slave to itself. So that's what we want to demonstrate, all right, before moving forward. So I will reboot this machine. Reboot this machine is getting rebooted, all right? So once it reboots, it's going to change the host name, which was already set from this that we have to something else. So what we set. So let's try to connect. It'll take some time to connect, guys. So while we're waiting for this connection, I talked about salt, pepper, and salt, pepper, salt, pepper, salt, pepper, salt, pepper, salt stack, salt stack, salt, pepper, salt stack. All right, salt stack, pepper, right? As there are also many mention of salt, ginger, salt, ginger, 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 ginger. All right, salt, ginger, understanding ginger, salt project.io. All right, using ginger with salt. All right, and pillar. We also have salt pillar. So these are concepts that makes sense. All right, it makes sense. They're using concepts when you go to cave, kind of cave, you know, a salt pillar. When you go to, I don't know if you've been to a salt ocean, all right, ocean that is the concentration of salt in that ocean is something else. It's over the roof, all right. In there, you see salt building up, salt stack, salt pillars building up, and you also see salt grains, right? Yeah. So this is what they are. That concept is what they are trying to bring into computing. All right. So let's connect one more time. So I think we are now connected. So sudo -i, and if I now type host name, I should see that my FQDN is now updated. My host name is now updated. So if I now type salt key, so salt key shows us all the keys that are already on the system. I don't know why this guy is not. It will update, guys. Right? It will update, but it takes some time. It takes some time. It takes about, is it 24 hours? But it takes some time, right? To sync the unaccepted keys, right? It takes some time. So let me restart. Let me restart the salt master. Systemctl restart salt master. So let's restart our salt master. Let's restart salt master, and let's check the keys one more time. It's not updated. Let's restart the minion itself. Restart the minion. It's getting restarted. Let's wait. Yeah, let's check the status one more time. Salt key. All right, don't worry. We're going to accept it. All right. So now to start using salt, right? Because if I type salt command now, right? If I type salt, right, followed by the minion. Now, when I do this asterisk means apply salt command to every slaves that are already connected to the salt master. All right. So I can say tests.version. So I want to check the version of salt. So if I do this now, I'm going to have an error. It says what? No minions matched the targets. No command was sent. All right. No ginger ID was assigned. All right. Error. No return received. Now, if you look at this architecture, where's that architecture one more time? Now, there is this thing called returner. Returner is responsible for sending results and receiving results, right? That's why we have this. It says no return received, right? And no command was sent. It sends command and receives results. Sends command and receives what? Result. Like I said, I wouldn't want to go into in depth of what of these other concepts, components, all right? Because we don't want to digress. Okay, so in that case, now we have to accept this key. So this is the key of the what of this same server, because I said this server can also be what a slave. So I will accept this key. I'll say salt space, sorry, salt key, all right, dash a, all right. So a is the what is to accept. So if you don't want to accept, you can deny, you can unaccept, you can reject, right? You can reject. So now I want to accept. What's the key name? The key name is this. Copy this key, copy and paste, and hit enter. Once we do this, you say now the following keys are going to be accepted. Unaccepted keys is this. Do you want to proceed? I'll say yes. Now press yes and type enter. It tells me that this accepted. Now, if I now rerun the command salt key to check the key status, I will see that this key was what accepted. Now, if I now run this command again, I'll copy and paste. I should have an output. You can see now we're now having an output from this what minion, that the salt version is what is this. With this now, salt, we can confirm that salt is successfully installed on this machine. We can also do some certain commands like you can check by IP address. You can say command run. What am I doing? I'm passing ifconfig, all right, to this same instance. All right, hit this. It returns something, tells me that this is my IP tables. Sorry, not my IP tables. My IP table configuration. IP table, yeah. My IP table configuration. All right, you can see. So this tells us that yes, salt is working and it's making sense. Now we've set up this, all right. We've set up, where is it? We set up this now, right? Set up this. Now let's now go on the minion side and install a salt minion and start off from there. So I'll go back to my diagram. So this is my salt minion. Connects SSH clients. I'll copy it, come to my terminal, all right. Then I will paste that command and let me use a different. Let me use this so that we'll know that yeah. You know the difference between master and a slave, right? So sudo dash I. So I'm going to be changing my host name. All right, I'll change the host name, and I'll call this slave. Let me call it minion dot ftd.com. All right, minion.ftd. Escape, save and quit. Then what else do we need to do? Let's add the salt repository. So come back here, we'll do the same thing. Copy this, come here, paste. All right, then copy the repository and do same thing. And yeah, I think we are done. Let's now update apt updates. So I can say apt updates vamp. So after updating, I can reboot the machine. So what we want to achieve here now, we want to connect this guy to this guy so that we can start managing this guy from this guy. Oh my goodness. Let's change the color. I love coloring. Yeah, I love coloring. Right. So on the minion, these are things we need to do, right? So first thing first, we are to set the host name. Let me just do a copy and paste, guys. We don't have much time. Copy and paste. Great. So we will be setting the host name of the slave of the minion. Please call it minion. The host name must be in the format of an FQDN. You don't necessarily need to set host name, but for best practice, please set a host name. All right. So this host name here is, we gave it minion.this. All right. Great, because you can't have multiple global FQDN, sorry, host domain name for all your minions. Assuming you have hundreds of minions, are you going to be creating multiple FQDN for these minions? No. Or you can leverage your local DNS, right? Which is your etc host. You can leverage that. All right. So use this stack documentation, install your salt minion on the what? On the minion. All right. So let's go back there. Let's see. So let's now reboot. So before we reboot, let's also set let's point let's create something. I'll go to etc host. But let me not do it now. Let me show us the error that you're likely to have, right? I'll show you the error that you're likely to have when you do not set a host name for, you do not point the host name, you do not create a host you do not point the master host name in your slave. I'll show you the error. Like I said, guys, this is Christmas. Yeah. All right. So let's get back. So let's try to come back in. So sudo dash this, then you can see host name. We have the host name. Now you need to now install the salt minion. So let's now say apt install salt minion. All right, great. So you are installing the minion. It takes, I don't know why it takes some time, right? Why installing on the slave side, right? Like we said, guys, this is Christmas. Yo, man. Yeah. Let's just wait for this guy to finish and yeah. So we are installing the minion. All right. So what we're doing, we're installing what? Install salt minion on the minion. All right. Great. We're installing the minion. So let's it's almost 40%. Let's just wait for some time. Yeah, guys, like I said, this is Christmas. Yeah, guys, please show us love, man. Show us love. And again, yeah, my program is coming up in March 2025. That is DevOps for the diasporas. All right. DevOps for the diasporas cohort 2. We started a DevOps diaspora cohort 1 in October 2024. All right. And we want to do it again in 2025. All right. By special grace of God. Okay. So please, DevOps for diasporas is coming up in March. All right. Now let's check the installation. It's taking some time, guys. All right. It's taking some time. It's taking some time. Let's give it some time. Let's be patient. All right. Yeah. So DevOps for the diasporas. And sooner you'll get the flyer. All right. And when you get your flyer, please, guys, do us a favor and share it. Share. Share within your network. Show us love. All right. We like it when you show us love, right? Because we are showing love, because we are in Christmas, right? Not only in Christmas I will show love, okay? We show love every other day, but the kind of love we show in Christmas is, I wouldn't want to say special love, all right? Because it's a season, it's a season, okay? Every other day is special. We show love every other day, guys. All right, let's check. Okay. Now the installation is getting completed. All right. I don't know why it took so long, man. So long. So 66% and 66 and boom. We are good, guys. Now let's now check. We've installed the Minion. Let's check the status. Systemctl Minion. All right. Systemctl Minion dot service. Why am I getting systemctl status? Sorry, salt, guys, please. Salt Minion, no, Salt Minion. So it's already up and running. This guy is already up and running. All right. Now there's a problem. The master host name, Salt, not found. It's picking this name from somewhere. This name is picking it somewhere. How do we know? Let's go to the configuration file. So I'll say cd into etc salt. Now under salt, we have just the minion. Can you see now? Just the minion, right? So I'm going to open this file. There's an ID. If you open this minion.id, this is where the master, this is where salt saves, the minion saves its ID. You can see this is own ID. All right. Now I'll also open this file, the minion, just the minion. Now in this file, there's a place called master. There's a place called master, just master. This is where you reference the FQDN of the master. So if you can't see, let's search for it. Let me say master. Next. Or let me just say master column. Enter. Next. Now I can see now. By default, it's speaking salt. All right. So to reference the master, to connect the minion, to connect this minion to the master, I'm going to edit the file. That's the next step. Edit the /etc/salt/minion file to reference the masters, the salt masters FQDN. All right, FQDN. Now, see now, because without this now, there's no way this guy can connect. All right, salt is running status. When we check status, salt this is running, but it's telling us DNS lookup. It's trying to look up this salt. Is not up. It's failing. Right? It's not connecting. Right? Because we've not updated this guy in there. Right? So if I now say salt key, I'm not going to see. I will see that unaccepted keys is empty. Right? Because the slave is trying to connect, but it's getting some errors. All right? Now, let's now connect the slave. So let's check the host name. What's my host name? My host name is this. So copy this host name. Copy it. Come to your slave. Right? Go to where the file Minion. Now locate this master. Comment that and remove this guy and paste the FQDN of the master. So this is how the Minion connects to the master, right? By referencing the FQDN of the master name in the Minion configuration file. So it's what does it say? Set the location of the salt master server. If the master server cannot be resolved, then the Minion will fail to start, right? Let's escape. Let's save and quit. Let's restart the Minion. So systemctl restart salt Minion. Enter. Let's check the status. Systemctl status. Now, look at now. It has picked what salt.ftd.com, but it's still saying that not found or not responsive. It's going to retry in the next 30 seconds. All right. Now, let's come here now. Let's still hit salt key. Let's still check salt key and see if it has synced. It hasn't synced yet. Let's check one more time. It has not synced yet. All right. We don't have that key yet. So what do we do now? So the best thing to now do is, because this name is not a global DNS name. It's just a name I coined. I just created that name. So it's local. So what I will do, I'm going to go in the local DNS file of this machine. All right. I'll get of this machine. I will create a local DNS record. So I'll paste that guy. Then I'm going to pick the public IP. The public IP call ident.me. So it's always good you pick a private IP if the minions are in the same subnet. But if they are in different subnets, please use the public IP. That won't change. All right. But since it's a cloud base, the public IP will always change if you don't set it static. All right. So this is what we'll do. So this is the public IP of the what? Of the master, right? So with this, the slave will now be able to connect to the master because it will now resolve this guy, to resolve it locally. All right. Now let's restart the Minion. Restart your Minion. Restart the Minion. Minion is restarted. Let's check the status. Check your status. Now we now check the status. It's saying error. The salt master has cached the public key for this node. This salt Minion will wait. Let's reduce this, guys. That will see. This salt Minion will wait for 10 seconds before. I don't know why I can't get. Before doing what? Before attempting to re-authenticate. All right. All right. So it's attempting to re-authenticate. So let's try. Check status one more time. So it will be getting this error. So at this point, the key is already on the master side. If we check the salt key now, we should see this guy as unaccepted. I don't know why it's coming. It's not picking up. Okay. I'll change. I'll set a domain name for Dream etc. Let me pick my public. My private IP. So this is my private IP of the Minion server. So let me go in here and update the local DNS. So this will be for that. So this is minion.ftv.com. All right. So I can restart my salt minion. Right. Right. So let's now go to the server and check if that key changes. Salt key doesn't change. So I'll just accept it that way, guys. Right. But we're supposed to do all of these before now. But I needed to show you the errors that you encounter if the master is not well defined, right? It's not well pointed. Okay, it's not well pointed. So now I'm going to accept this key. So I'll now say salt dash key dash a to accept. Then the key name is this. This is a key name. So copy this key, copy and paste, and hit enter. So the moment I do this, it tells me that, do you want to accept this key? I say yes. This key was accepted. So if I now say salt key, I should get that I have keys. So at this juncture, guys, we have comfortably connected the salt minion to what? The salt master. So from going forward, I can be on the master and manage the salt what? Minion. Let's try it and see. Let's try it and see. So from here, I can now say salt space. All right. So I don't want to target everything. I just want to target this machine. All right, this minion. I don't want to target all minion. So what do I want to do? I want to test the version of salt minion installed on that machine. So I'll say test.version. This is this on this machine. Look at this is the machine. All right. So let's do some things. Let's say let's cmd dot run a command. Run a command. I can mkdir. I can make a directory. I can create a directory. Let me call it mkdir slash data. All right. So let's see this. It was successful. Now let's come to the minion. Let's see if this directory was created. Let's check. If I search this guy and I go to here, you see that I have data. This guy was created from this salt machine, from the master. All right. So I can create a user. Let's say user add. Let me call that user add dinero omeru. Right. Let's do that. Let's do that. Created. Let's now check. So if I say cat etc pass wd, do I have dinero omero? Yes, I do have dinero omero. Can you see how fast salt is? All right, this is salt in action. So from here, I am able to what? Perform operations on the minion that is connected. All right, you can see the minion that is connected. So salt, this guy, the module, and the command, bam, it's done, guys. It's done. So this is the beauty of SaltStack. Here's the beauty of SaltStack, guys. All right, I can do a whole lot. All right, I can check the IP address, the IP table of that machine, ifconfig. All right, I can check it. So this is the IP. All right, that's it. That's it, guys. I can check a lot of things, guys. So this is the beauty. At this juncture, going forward, you can always what? Manage your minion from your what? From your master. From your master. With that in place, we have successfully implemented a SaltStack, right? So you can see how easy it was to connect your slave machines, your minion, to your what? To your master. And from your master, you're now managing the minions. The minions, you're doing things, guys, right? On Ansible, right? Ansible is not, though Ansible is straightforward, but it's not as straightforward as Salt. I have a video on Ansible, all right? So if you've not seen this video, please go and check out my YouTube channel. So I call it Ansible A to Z. My Ansible A to Z. Let's look at my playlists. Where's my Ansible A to Z? All right. So I have this Ansible A to Z. All right. So it took me some time. I've tested Ansible, then I'm also testing Salt, and I can tell the difference. I can tell the difference. All right. I can tell the difference. Okay. Salt is straightforward. So in my next series of videos, I'll now start diving deeper into writing state files, salt states, right? We should talk about different components, salt components. After the components, then we should now dive in talking about state files. How do you use state files? All right. So what? To deploy services on a remote, to execute remote commands, to deploy services on remote machines, which is remote minions, right? We're going to use state file. We'll create a state file. In that file, we'll define a whole lot. All right. So it's going to be very, very interesting, guys. Right. That being said, all right, with that, we want to bring today's session to a close. All right. But before we finally draw the curtain close, like I rightly said from the very beginning, this is Christmas, guys. And it was nice having you guys. It was nice having you guys. Our program, DevOps for the Diasporas, commences in March 2025. So please, when you see the flyer, help us to share with the loved ones. So guys, thank you, and have a wonderful Merry Xmas. Thank you, and see you all in 2025. Peace out. Peace out.